You guys take planets, exoplanets, planets outside the solar system, and take it for granted, right? They discovered thousands of them. When I was in college, we still thought there was just the nine planets in our solar system. We include Pluto, rock, it's not really a planet, it's a big old rock. But now we're finding out that there's planets everywhere out there, and planets that are like ours, planets that are in the Goldilocks zone. What's the Goldilocks zone? What are they talking about?
Is that where it can support life?
Not too close to the sun, not too far away. It's kind of like the girl with the bears, right? It's not the hot stuff or the cold stuff. It's right in between. So we're finding planets out there that are in that Goldilocks zone that we seem to indicate they may have the presence of water. Now, life as we know it has to have water. So we got planets in the Goldilocks zone that appear they might have water on them. You think there's life? Wouldn't that be neat to discover life on another planet? We may even discover life in our own solar system. Some of the moons around Jupiter are postulated to perhaps have life. Now, we're not talking about Jupiterians walking around. We're talking about, microbial organisms, bacteria, those kinds of things. But to find life on another planet, well, one thing I want to know, is it like us? Does it have the same DNA? Does it even use DNA? DNA is our genetic material, but it doesn't mean that you couldn't find another chemical compound to do it. I truly think, before I die, that we do discover irrefutable evidence of life on another planet. And I think that would be one of the most profound days in history, to think that we aren't alone, that there's some other critters out there. And if there are even single-celled microbial critters in our solar system, maybe way out there, there's other intelligent life out there running around. I think that would be incredible to find. But we're way out here on one of these spiral arms, Oceanus. Now, Earth is a good name, okay, I find it, but I'm an ocean guy. I like to call it Oceanus. Why do you think Oceanus is a better name, let's say, than Earth? Gosh, yeah, we are. We're 3/4 water. If you look at the planet from a distance, it's a blue dot. Why is it blue? Because of the fact of all the preponderance of water. 75% of the planet. 3/4 of the planet is covered in water. How much water is in your body? What percentage? Not the same. Isn't it interesting? The amount of water in your body and your cells is about the same amount as is on Earth. Water is vitally important. But we don't think about it, right? We shower with it, we drink it, we put it on our lawns, and we think, it's water, it's clear, but think about it, folks. Life as we know it wouldn't exist without water. You wouldn't be here without water. That simple little compound that we take for granted. So hell yeah, it's Oceanus, man. It's Oceanus, not Earth. I mean, okay, Earth is fine, the land part is cool, but nothing beats an ocean. Nothing beats an ocean. So we get a little bit closer and we look and we say, there it is. There it is, a little bit closer. There's the ocean. What continent we got here? There we go. What's this island? Oh, yeah, up here, what we got? What sea is that? It's got a color. That's the Red Sea. That's the Arabian Peninsula. Where are we? We're way over here. Which way is the planet turning? Is it going that way, or is it going this way? Okay, so the planet is turning this way. Because here comes Florida, and the sun's sitting over here, right? The sun comes up in the east, and the sun is in a better location, right? All right, so we look at that, and we can say, see why Oceanus. There's a little bit of land, but there's a lot of this, an awful lot of this. And that's why it's important that we study it, because it does everything for us on the planet. There's all these oceans out there, the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic, the Indian Ocean, but they're all one ocean, really, right? It's all connected. It's all one big, giant ocean. Oceans and seas are just things that humans made up. We say, well, this is going to be the Pacific Ocean, and this is going to be the Indian Ocean, but they're all connected together. If you look at it, it's mostly water with a little bit of land. Like just a little tiny bit of land, especially in the southern hemisphere. There's a lot more ocean in the southern hemisphere than there is in the northern hemisphere. Wait a minute, do my little gizmo there. There we go. Got some pictures for you. These pictures are meant to represent kind of what I think about in the ocean. Pacific Ocean, spent a lot of time in the Pacific Ocean when I was in the Navy. Beautiful, flat, gorgeous water. some of the bluest water I've ever seen in my life, especially around Hawaii. If you've ever been to Hawaii, the water is turquoise color. It's magnificent. The Arctic Ocean, of course, we know is cold. Yeah, absolutely. And there's no landmass in the Arctic. You all understand that, right? It's just floating ice. So there is no Arctic continent of any sort. And that floating ice is important habitat for lots of species, including our buddy there, the polar bear. They need floating ice floes, and it's all melting, isn't it? Yeah, global climate change. By the way, global climate change is not debated. It's not a matter of opinion. It's a fact. So global climate change is a fact. The anthropogenic, one of the things we learn in science is fancy words, huh, for college. Anthropogenic factors caused by humans. Anthropogenic factors of global climate change are not debated. We are causing the biggest part of what we see in global climate change. One of the things is the melting of the ice in the Arctic Ocean. And unfortunately, as I said, that destroys a lot of the habitat. Now, the Southern Ocean down here around Antarctica, a lot of ice there too. What have we got in the Southern Ocean that we don't have in the Northern Arctic Ocean? Yeah, right away. You'll see that. It's like, here we are at the North Pole, and there's a penguin. I'm like, no, don't think so. Atlantic Ocean. When I think about the Atlantic Ocean, I think about the North Atlantic Ocean. I had the opportunity to go out on some fishing boats out of New England one time, off the Grand Banks and fishing. It was worst seasick I've been in my life. North Atlantic, especially in the wintertime, is not a very nice place. The Indian Ocean, you can blindfold me, fly me all over the world, drop me an ocean, I'll tell you when I'm in the Indian Ocean. The water looks different. It looks greener in the Indian Ocean than it does any place else on the planet. This is the ship I was on in the Navy. I spent a lot of time in the Indian Ocean. That's why I just threw that in there. And then, of course, like I said, we got the Southern Ocean there too. But it's all one big, giant mass of water. So when we think about, how all these ecosystems interact with one another, it's not so much like an ecosystem in South America is independent of itself, different from Africa. Many times these things are confluent with one another. So a lot of things that affect the ocean here, let's say, affect the ocean here as well, because it's all tied together that way. Like, for example, the huge garbage patches that flow out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. And they got ones that are hundreds of miles in diameter that are just nothing but floating garbage. I recall one time in the Navy standing aboard a ship and we're sailing across the Pacific, and I see a bunch of garbage, see some pallets, wooden pallets. Something on those pallets, something moving around. We're here, right? Middle of nowhere. Here. And as we get closer, you know what's on the pallets? Rats. Rats were all over those pallets. Rats are very good rafters, huh? Well, most of them don't. Most of them don't. But a few of them could survive. That's why rodents and rats are so spread all over the world, because they're good what they call rafters. They're very good at rafting. So there's all these rats, and like Marissa's, have they survived? Most of them won't. But all you need is a few of them to make their way over there. And there's just amazing to think that out in the middle of nowhere, there's this big pallet of rodents floating around. Because we went by, I said, good luck, guys. And we just kept on going. All right. Oh, let's get this cool little details out of the way. Everybody knows the Pacific is the largest ocean. Why is it called the Pacific? Why that word Pacific? Remember who discovered? They really discovered Balboa, a Spanish explorer, as he made his way through the Isthmus of Panama. When he came out on the west coast and looked across the ocean, it was very calm that day, and it was Pacific. Pacific meaning calm or passive or whatever word I'm looking for. You get the idea. About half of the world's oceans are the Pacific Ocean, deepest place on Earth, the Marianas Trench. There. Oh. Yeah, there's the Marianas Trench. All right, so this is over off of in the area of Polynesia, right, over in that part of the world. And the Marianas Trench is the Challenger deep, 11,035 meters. 11,000. Let's do a little math. How many miles is that? 3 feet about to a meter, 33,000 feet. 6 miles? Now, how high does an airliner fly? Cruising altitude is probably around 35,000 feet. typically, right? So the next time you're in an airliner, at cruising out, I want you to look down, and I want you to realize that's what it would look like if you were at the boat in the ocean, looking to the bottom of the Challenger. That's how far down it is. That's way down. Now, we didn't think anything lived down there at all, so some folks took a submersible down there many years ago, and they found all kinds of things living down there. Now, the big thing